In the cold silence of deep space, a small escape pod drifted between dying stars. Inside, an alien soldier named Rel opened his eyes for the first time in weeks. His body was weak, his armor cracked, and his memories felt like smoke. He had escaped a war that had destroyed his world. His ship had exploded, his people were gone, and he was the last one alive. Rel's pod had been moving without control, pulled by the gravity of a small blue planet below. When the pod finally entered the planet's atmosphere, fire surrounded it. The crash was loud, shaking a forest near a small human town. The sky lit up like a second sun before the pod disappeared into the trees. 4 hours, the forest burned quietly until rain began to fall. Smoke turned into mist, and the sound of thunder faded away. From the broken pod, Rel crawled out, his silver skin reflecting the moonlight, his 4-fingered hands trembling. He had never seen a world so alive. The air was soft, the wind warm. He could hear the heartbeat of this planet. He looked around, scanning the forest with his glowing eyes. His translator chip picked up sounds, animal cries, rustling leaves, and something else, footsteps. Someone was coming. A young human girl named Maya was walking toward the wreckage. She had seen the light fall from the sky while feeding her horse and thought it was a meteor. She carried a flashlight and a small medical kit. She always carried one since her father was a paramedic. When she reached the crash site, her breath stopped. There, among the smoke and metal, stood a tall figure unlike anything she had seen. His body was covered in strange armor, his eyes glowed faintly blue, and his face looked both human and alien, strong but tired. For a long moment, they just stared at each other. Rel raised his hand slowly. "Do not fear," he said in a broken voice. The translator chip struggled to form the words. Maya took a step back, heart pounding, but she didn't run. Something in his tone felt human. "You're hurt," she whispered. He looked at his arm. Blood, or something like it, was leaking from a deep wound. "Yes," he said. "War ended. I did not." Maya didn't understand everything, but she could see pain in his eyes. Against all fear, she moved closer and opened her medical kit. "I can help," she said softly. Rel didn't stop her. As she cleaned the wound, he studied her face. Humans were smaller, weaker, and yet there was something in her eyes, a kind of fire he had never seen in his own species. On his world, bravery came from strength. On this one, it seemed to come from heart. As the night passed, Maya helped him hide the pod under broken branches and dirt. She brought food and water from her house, careful not to be seen. Rel tried to eat, but human food was strange to him. Still, he accepted it, learning small words from her. Over the next few days, Maya kept visiting him. She asked questions, what his name was, where he came from, but Rel answered carefully. He didn't want to reveal too much. He only said, "I come from a place far, very far. My people fought for honor, but lost everything." One night, when the moon was full, Maya asked, "Are there more of you coming?" Rel looked up at the stars, his expression darkening. "No. I am the last." The silence that followed was heavy. Maya couldn't imagine being alone in the whole universe. She looked at him, feeling a strange sadness. "Then you're safe here," she said. Rel smiled faintly. "No one is ever safe. Not for long." He was right. The same night, far above the Earth's orbit, a massive ship appeared. It belonged to the enemy species that had destroyed Rel's home, the Karnaks. They had tracked his escape pod signal and were now heading toward the blue planet to finish what they started. On Earth, Rel felt the change in the air before anyone else. His neural implants buzzed, his senses screamed. He stood up suddenly, eyes glowing brighter. "They found me," he whispered. Maya looked scared. Who found you?" Rel looked toward the sky, where faint red lights began to blink among the stars. "The ones who ended my world." Maya didn't know what to say. But one thing was clear, if these beings came to Earth, everyone would be in danger. Rel clenched his fists. For the first time since his crash, he felt something powerful inside him, something that made his heart burn again. He had lost his home, his people, his war. But now, he had something worth protecting. He looked at Maya, his voice steady. Humans, they fight even when hope is gone. Maybe, that is why I survived. And as the red lights in the sky grew brighter, Rel made a silent promise. This time, he would fight not for revenge, but for the courage he saw in a single human girl. Night fell over the small town again. The stars looked peaceful, but Rel knew better. The red lights he saw last night were not stars, they were Karnak's hunters, and they were coming for him. He stood in the forest, watching the sky with sharp alien eyes. His armor hummed faintly as it repaired itself using the energy from Earth's atmosphere. But it wasn't enough. His weapons were broken, his power core damaged. He was still too weak to fight. Maya arrived quietly, carrying a lantern and a backpack full of supplies. "You didn't sleep again," she said softly. Rel didn't answer at first. He kept looking at the sky. Finally he said, "Sleep is for those who feel safe." Maya frowned. "You think they're really coming?" Rel nodded. "They don't stop. They never stop. If they find me here, they will destroy everything." Maya's hands trembled a little. "Then we have to tell someone, maybe the army, or the government." Rel turned sharply. "No. If humans fight them, they will die. Your weapons. Too weak. They won't even see the attack coming." Maya stared at him, her heart pounding. "Then what are we supposed to do?" He looked at her for a long moment, his voice quiet. "Hide. Leave this place. Forget me." But she shook her head. "No. You saved yourself to live. You didn't come all this way just to run again." Something in her tone stopped him. She was small, fragile, yet her courage felt larger than the stars. Before he could reply, the ground trembled. A sound like thunder echoed through the forest. Both of them looked up. 3 red fireballs were falling from the sky. They weren't meteors. They were Karnak's scout ships. "Run!" Rel shouted. He grabbed Maya and pulled her behind the wreck of his old pod just as a red beam scorched the ground nearby. Trees exploded, leaves turned to ash, and smoke filled the air. Rel's armor activated automatically, glowing bright blue as it absorbed impact. He shielded Maya with his body. "Stay close." When the fire cleared, 3 tall figures stepped out of the smoke. Their bodies were black and metallic, faces hidden behind red glass masks. The Karnak soldiers spoke in harsh, electric tones. Rel understood every word. They were calling his name. "Rel of Citharon. You cannot hide. Surrender and die with honor." Rel stood up slowly, pushing Maya back. "Do not move," he said quietly. Maya's heart raced. "What are you going to do?" "End this." The Karnaks raised their weapons, long staffs that glowed red at the ends. Rel activated his wrist blade, a shimmering blue light slicing the air. The fight began. Rel moved like lightning. Even weakened, he was faster than any human eye could follow. He dodged beams, struck one soldier across the chest, and kicked another into a tree. Sparks flew as armor shattered. Maya watched in shock. He wasn't just fighting, he was surviving like every strike mattered. Every movement was desperate but full of purpose. But there were too many. One Karnax hit Rel from behind, sending him crashing to the ground. His armor cracked again. Maya screamed. "No." Without thinking, she grabbed a metal rod from the wreck and threw it at the soldier. It bounced off harmlessly, but it distracted the alien just long enough. Rel used that second. He grabbed the soldier's weapon and plunged it into the ground, releasing an energy burst that knocked everyone back, including himself. Silence followed. Smoke rose from the clearing. When it cleared, only Rel and Maya were standing. The Karnak soldiers were gone, disintegrated by their own weapon. Rel fell to his knees, breathing hard. His armor dimmed, and blue blood dripped onto the dirt. Maya ran to him. "You did it. They're gone." He looked up at her weakly. "No. They sent scouts first. The fleet will come next. Maya's face turned pale. How long? Hours. Maybe less. She pressed her hands to her face. We can't stop them, Rel. There's no way. He looked at her again, his eyes glowing faintly. There is one way. But it will kill me. Maya shook her head violently. No. You just survived. You can't die now. Rel smiled sadly. On my world, bravery was just a word. On this one, it has a face. Yours. Her heart ached. She didn't understand how an alien could care this much, but she knew he meant it. He touched the side of his armor and pulled out a small, cracked energy core. This can destroy their mothership if I overload it. But I must get close. Maya grabbed his hand. Then I'm coming with you. He shook his head. You're human. You don't belong in this war. She stared at him, tears shining in her eyes. If they're coming for my planet, then it's my war too. For a long moment, Rel said nothing. Then, slowly, he nodded. As the two of them looked toward the night sky, the stars began to vanish, covered by something massive. The Karnak's fleet had arrived. The ground shook again as the first ship entered the atmosphere. Red light filled the forest. Rel stood tall despite his pain, his voice calm and deep. Then we fight together. And in that moment, an alien and a human, side by side, looked up at the burning sky, ready to face the impossible. The night sky burned with the red glow of the Karnak's fleet. Massive ships hovered over the town like dark mountains, their weapons scanning for life. The forest where Rel and Maya hid was quiet, but every heartbeat felt loud. Rel studied the ships through the trees. His alien senses could feel the energy of each weapon, each engine. We cannot fight them here, he said, voice low. Too many. They will burn this world. Maya shivered, clutching his arm. Then, what do we do? Rel's eyes glowed faintly. We go to their ship. One strike. One chance. Maya blinked. Their ship? How? It's huge. He looked at her, a small smile touching his lips despite the tension. I have been trained for this. You will be my shield. She swallowed her fear. Then I'm ready. They moved quietly through the forest, keeping low as the red beams from the ships swept across the land. Birds and animals had long fled. Every step was a risk, every shadow could hide a Karnak scout. After hours of careful movement, they reached a massive clearing. One of the smaller ships had landed, engines still hot, and a ramp extended to the ground. This was the entrance. Rel crouched, scanning for guards. Too many, he muttered. I cannot take them all at once. Maya looked at him, determination in her eyes. Then we create a distraction. Draw some away. You go for the core. Rel studied her. She was human, fragile, yet unafraid. Her bravery reminded him why he had survived. Very well, he said. Maya grabbed a flare from her backpack. When I throw this, run inside. I will lead some of them outside. Rel nodded. He touched her hand. Be careful. Maya ran to the edge of the clearing, her heart pounding. She threw the flare into the sky. It burst with a blinding red light, and alarms screamed through the ship. The Karnak soldiers rushed to the ramp, leaving gaps in their defenses. Rel dashed forward, moving like a shadow. His four-fingered hands touched the hull, and he activated his personal cloaking device. He was invisible to their sensors, slipping inside the ship silently. Inside, the corridors were cold and metallic, filled with strange humming sounds. Rel could sense every patrol. He moved quickly, avoiding cameras and guards. His mission was simple but deadly: reach the energy core, overload it, and destroy the mothership. Meanwhile, Maya ran through the clearing, waving her arms and screaming. Red beams followed her, and she ducked behind metal crates. Fear tore at her, but she kept running. Every human instinct screamed at her to hide, but she stayed alive because she had to protect Rel. Back inside, Rel reached the core room. It was enormous, glowing with blue energy. The core pulsed like a heart, feeding power to every weapon and ship. He could feel the energy screaming at him, trying to penetrate his mind. He knelt and placed his hands on the surface. His alien body absorbed the energy slowly, the strain pulling at his armor and flesh. Sparks flew across his body. Pain shot through him, but he ignored it. He had no choice. If the core remained, Earth would burn. Suddenly, alarms blared. The Karnax had discovered him. Guards ran down the corridor, weapons raised. Rel's visor flashed red. Danger was close. He activated his blade and moved like lightning. Guards fell one by one, but more kept coming. The pain from the energy core was growing unbearable. Sweat, or something like it, dripped down his face. Back outside, Maya was surrounded. Red light painted the forest. A Karnax soldier aimed directly at her. Her hands shook, but she grabbed a fallen branch and swung. The soldier blocked, and she ran. Another soldier followed. Her mind screamed. She couldn't fight forever, but she refused to run. Not now. She had to protect Rel. Inside, Rel shouted through the communicator. Maya! Get them outside. Go now. Maya screamed back. I'm trying. There are too many. Rel took a deep breath. His energy core was ready to overload. It will be enough, he said, his voice calm despite pain. I will not fail. He placed his palm fully on the core. A bright blue light erupted, flooding the corridors. Sparks, heat, and energy waves knocked guards back. The ship shook violently. Warning lights flashed red. Outside, Maya looked up. The sky lit up. Rel's voice echoed in her communicator. Run. Now. Maya sprinted toward the forest, dodging debris as explosions rocked the ship. Behind her, the mothership began to tear itself apart. Energy blasts shot into space. Rel remained inside, glowing blue, his body fused with the energy core. He whispered to himself, "For bravery. For humans." The last thing Maya saw before diving into the trees was a bright flash of light. The ship exploded, burning across the sky like a dying sun. Silence fell. Maya fell to the ground, chest heaving, tears mixing with dirt and rain. She thought of Rel. She thought of the alien who had shown her what courage really meant. Somewhere deep inside, she felt hope, but also fear. He had saved Earth, but at what cost? The forest was quiet now. Only the wind whispered through the broken trees. And somewhere, in the distance, a faint blue glow pulsed. Maya's heart skipped. Could he have survived? Could the alien who loved human bravery still be alive? She didn't know, but one thing was certain. Earth had seen courage tonight, and it had changed everything. The morning sun rose over the small town, painting the forest in soft gold. Birds returned slowly, and the air felt calmer. But the memory of the night before lingered, burning ships, flashing lights, and the terrifying roar of alien weapons. Maya sat on a fallen tree, knees pulled to her chest, staring at the sky. The mothership had exploded. The Karnax fleet was gone. For now, Earth was safe. Yet her heart ached for Rel. She didn't know if he had survived the core overload. The glowing blue light she had seen before the explosion haunted her memory. Her parents noticed something was wrong. Maya, are you all right? Her father asked gently, his voice shaking with worry. She shook her head, tears running down her face. I don't know. Someone saved us last night. Her mother frowned. What do you mean? Was it another person? Were you hurt? Maya looked at them, struggling to put her thoughts into words. It wasn't a person, not really. Something alien. It saved the town. It saved me. Her parents exchanged uneasy glances. Maya, maybe it was a dream. The storms. The lights. But Maya knew it wasn't a dream. She could feel it in her bones. Something alive, brave, and different had protected them. Meanwhile, deep in the forest, something stirred. A faint blue glow pulsed among the fallen trees. A shape moved slowly, unsteady at first, then stronger. Rel. His body was scarred, armor cracked, but he had survived. The core's energy had fused with his being, leaving him weak but alive. He opened his eyes and looked at the forest around him. The world was still. The danger was gone, for now. Rel stood, testing his strength. Every movement hurt, but he felt something new, a connection to this planet. He had survived because he wanted to protect something greater than himself. Something he had never experienced on Zitharon, hope. He thought of Maya, the small human with fire in her heart. She had risked everything to protect him. Her bravery had saved him. And in that moment, he realized something he hadn't before. He had come to care for her courage, for the spirit of humans. Back in the town, Maya decided she couldn't stay inside. She had to see the forest, had to know if the alien was still alive. She ran quietly, slipping past her parents, and made her way to the edge of the trees where the battle had ended. There, among the broken branches, she saw it, a faint blue glow. She froze. Could it be him? Her heart raced. Rel emerged slowly, eyes glowing softly. He was thinner, his armor damaged, but alive. He looked at her, and for the first time, he smiled, not with words, but with his eyes. Maya stepped forward cautiously. You're alive, she whispered. He nodded, speaking with a voice that was calm but deep. Yes. I survived. Thanks to your bravery. Her eyes filled with tears. I didn't do much. I just tried to help. Rel shook his head. You risked your life. You showed courage when everything was hopeless. That is human bravery. It is beautiful. Maya's chest swelled with pride and relief. For the first time, she understood the alien's words, the meaning behind his fight. It wasn't just about survival, it was about courage, about fighting when no one else could. For the next few hours, they sat together in silence, watching the forest recover. Smoke rose from distant branches, and the morning sun grew warmer. Rel explained how he had fused with the core, how it had given him strength but also tied him to this planet in a strange way. Maya listened, fascinated and awed. So, you're like a part of Earth now, she asked. He nodded. In a way. I survived, because I chose to protect. And I will continue to do so. But even as the morning light bathed them, Rel's eyes flickered toward the horizon. The Karnak's fleet had been defeated, yes, but only temporarily. Others could come. The universe was vast, and enemies were never far. Maya sensed his worry. We'll be ready. Together, she said. Rel looked at her, a rare warmth in his alien expression. Together, he agreed. That day, Maya returned home, careful not to reveal Rel to her parents. She knew the world wasn't ready for what she had seen. But deep inside, she felt stronger. She had witnessed bravery not only in herself but in a being from the stars. As night fell, Rel watched over the forest, glowing faintly under the moonlight. He felt something he had never felt before, belonging. Earth was not his home by birth, but it had become his home by choice. Somewhere in the distance, a soft wind carried the whispers of life, trees, animals, humans. And Rel knew that as long as he and the humans who dared to be brave stood together, hope would endure. And somewhere beyond the stars, the Karnaks were regrouping. Rel's battle was not over, but he now understood the one thing that gave humans power he had never known. Courage born from the heart, not the weapon. The stage was set. Earth had a protector. And Rel, the alien who had fallen in love with human bravery, had found his place. Weeks passed since the battle. The forest had started to recover, but the memory of the Karnak's fleet haunted Maya and Rel. Earth was safe for now, but Rel knew the threat was far from gone. Somewhere in the vast darkness of space, the Karnaks were planning their next strike. Rel had learned to move quietly among humans, studying their ways. He walked through towns, observing, listening, learning their language better. Humans were fragile, yet so full of courage. Every small act of bravery amazed him. Children helping one another, workers saving lives, and soldiers protecting strangers. Every time, he felt a connection, a reason to fight for this planet. Maya had become his guide and teacher. She showed him how humans lived, what they feared, what they loved. They spent hours in conversation under the trees, laughing quietly, sharing stories of Zithron and Earth. Rel began to understand emotions he had never felt before: friendship, trust, even something like hope. One afternoon, while walking along the edge of the forest, Maya asked, "Rel, do you think the Karnaks will come back?" Rel looked toward the sky, his eyes narrowing. "Yes. Their fleet was destroyed, but others remain. They are patient hunters. They will return when least expected." Maya's face hardened. "Then we need to be ready." Rel nodded. "Exactly. But humans fight differently than my people. You fight with your hearts, your minds, not just weapons. That is why you survived." She smiled. "Then we need to teach others. Make them brave. Not just for themselves, but for everyone." Rel agreed. "Yes, but we must be careful. Most humans cannot understand what is coming. Fear will blind them." Over the next few days, Rel and Maya traveled secretly, scouting areas where the next attack might happen. Rel taught Maya about alien technology, about weapons and defenses she had never imagined. She learned quickly, fascinated by the possibilities. Together, they devised a plan, a way to warn humans, to prepare them without causing panic. One night, as they rested under the stars, Rel noticed something unusual. A faint ripple in the sky, a distant fleet, smaller than the first, but moving fast. His senses tensed immediately. "They are coming," he whispered, his voice low but steady. Maya's eyes widened. "How fast?" Rel calculated quickly. "Too fast to hide completely. We need to act now." He turned to her, eyes glowing softly. "You have shown courage, Maya. Now we need everyone to see it. You must help me rally them." Maya nodded, determination lighting her face. "I'll do it. Tell me what to do." Rel led her to the nearest town. They worked through the night, quietly alerting key people, firefighters, local leaders, even soldiers, without revealing his true identity. He taught them how to survive the initial attacks and how to use terrain to their advantage. Every human he met inspired him further. They were clever, brave, and resilient in ways he had never imagined. By dawn, a small human resistance had formed, ready to protect their homes. Rel looked at them, proud. These humans were not just weak creatures, they were fighters, warriors in their own right. Suddenly, a flash lit the horizon. A ship appeared, smaller than the last fleet but fast and deadly. The Karnaks were coming again. Rel's heart raced, but he remained calm. "This is the first wave. Stay strong. Fight with your hearts." The humans looked at him, confused but trusting. They did not fully understand the alien before them, but they sensed his power and determination. Maya stepped forward. "They will not take our planet without a fight. We will show them what humans can do." Rel smiled faintly. For the first time, he felt not only responsibility but also hope. Humans were capable of bravery unlike anything he had ever seen, and now, he would fight beside them. The sky grew brighter as the first Karnak ship entered Earth's atmosphere. Red light bathed the town. People ran to defensive positions, weapons ready. Rel hovered above them, energy glowing faintly in his palms, a protector and guide. The first beams struck. Trees exploded, and the ground shook. Yet humans fought back, not just with weapons, but with clever traps and strategies Rel had taught them. And in the chaos, Maya ran beside him, fearless. Together, human and alien, they faced the impossible. Rel realized something vital. Bravery was contagious. The humans fought harder because they believed in themselves, because they had someone, him, who believed in them. And for the first time, he understood why he had survived Zithron's war, to see courage in its purest form. The battle had just begun. The Karnax had returned, but this time, Earth was not helpless. And Rel, the alien who had fallen in love with human bravery, would stand at the front line, fighting, guiding, protecting, because now, he had a home worth dying for. The sun had barely risen when the sky above Earth darkened. Hundreds of Karnax ships descended like a swarm of red locusts, covering the horizon. The humans Rel had trained were ready, standing behind barricades, armed with weapons modified using his alien technology. Fear was there, but so was courage. Rel hovered above the ground, energy glowing faintly around him. His body still bore the scars of the core overload, but he was stronger than ever. Maya ran beside him, determination in her eyes, gripping a communicator he had given her. "They're more than I expected," Rel said calmly, scanning the incoming fleet. "But humans can be stronger than even they imagine." Maya nodded. "Then let's show them what Earth can do." The first Karnax ships fired. Red beams struck the forest and fields, igniting fires and sending clouds of smoke into the sky. The humans ducked behind cover, but Rel didn't hesitate. With a wave of his hand, he sent a shockwave through the ground, knocking several ships out of the sky. Sparks rained down as metal twisted and twisted again. From the town, humans fired strategically, following his guidance. Traps exploded, energy disruptors short-circuited Karnax weapons, and soldiers, guided by their newfound confidence, pressed forward. Each victory, small or large, gave them courage. Each success made Rel's heart swell. The Karnax were relentless. One massive ship descended in the center, bristling with weapons. Its shadow covered the town, and the humans froze for a moment. Rel's eyes glowed bright blue. He rose higher, energy gathering in his palms. "You want bravery," he shouted, voice carrying across the battlefield. "Then see it." He charged at the massive ship, moving faster than the human eye could follow. Energy erupted from his body like a storm, tearing through the enemy hull. The ship's weapons fired wildly, but his shield absorbed the blasts. Sparks flew, metal twisted, and a huge explosion followed. The ship crashed into a nearby valley, shaking the ground. The humans cheered, their courage multiplying. They moved forward, inspired by Rel's bravery. Maya directed them through the chaos, coordinating traps, guiding soldiers, and even helping civilians escape. But the Karnax had a final weapon, a massive war machine, taller than a building, glowing with energy. It moved slowly but deliberately toward the town. Its red sensors scanned for life. Rel's heart sank. Alone, he could not stop it. "Maya, listen to me," he shouted. "We need a plan. Now." She looked at him, eyes fierce. "We fight together. Humans and you, side by side." Rel smiled faintly. "Then let's show them what courage is." He rose into the sky, drawing the attention of the war machine. Its red beams fired relentlessly, but Rel moved with precision, dodging, striking, and weakening its energy shield. Meanwhile, Maya directed humans to trap the machine with heavy debris and energy disruptors. They worked like one unit, human and alien, blending strategy with bravery. Finally, Rel saw an opening. The war machine's energy core glowed through a broken panel. He charged, energy erupting from his hands, and slammed into the core. The machine trembled, sparks flying everywhere. The humans pressed their advantage, firing at exposed circuits, setting charges, and overwhelming the remaining defenses. With one final explosion, the war machine fell, crashing to the ground with a deafening roar. The battlefield was quiet, smoke rising, fires burning in patches, but the humans stood victorious. Rel hovered above, breathing heavily, his body scarred and glowing. He looked at Maya, who ran toward him, face shining with relief and pride. "You did it," she whispered. Rel shook his head. "No, we did it. You humans, you are brave beyond measure. I have never seen anything like it." Maya smiled. "And you showed us that courage can come from anyone, anywhere, even from the stars." Rel's eyes softened. For the first time, he felt at peace. The battle was over. Earth had survived, not because of weapons or numbers, but because humans had the courage to fight for what they loved, and because he had chosen to fight with them. As the sun set, the humans gathered in the town square, exhausted but alive. Rel stood beside Maya, looking at the faces of those who had survived. Children, parents, soldiers, all had shown bravery. All had fought despite fear. Rel realized that bravery wasn't just a human trait, or an alien one, it was universal. And in that moment, he knew he had found something worth protecting more than anything. A home, not defined by planets or species, but by courage, hope, and heart. The sky above was calm now. The Karnak's fleet was gone, for now, but Rel's eyes scanned the stars. Somewhere, beyond the reach of human sight, enemies still waited. But Earth had hope. And as long as humans remembered their bravery, he would be there to guide, protect, and fight beside them. Maya looked at him, a small smile playing on her lips. "You're one of us now," she said softly. Rel looked at her, a rare smile breaking across his scarred face. "Yes, I am one of you." And for the first time since leaving Zitharon, he felt truly alive. The sky over Earth was calm now, but the world had changed. Forests were scorched, towns partially damaged, yet humanity had survived. Rel stood at the edge of a hill, looking over the town below. The humans he had fought alongside were exhausted, but their faces shone with pride and relief. Maya ran up beside him, still covered in dirt and ash. "We did it," she said, voice filled with awe. Rel turned to her, eyes glowing faintly blue. "Yes, we did. Humanity is stronger than I ever imagined. Bravery does not come from strength or weapons. It comes from heart, from hope, from fighting when all seems lost." Maya smiled softly. "And you showed us what courage really looks like. You fought for us, for our world. Not because you had to, but because you chose to." Rel's chest swelled with something unfamiliar. Pride, gratitude, or perhaps something deeper, a connection that went beyond words. He had come to Earth as a stranger, a survivor of war, but he had found a purpose, a place where he belonged, and someone whose bravery touched him in a way no one else ever had. Over the next weeks, Rel helped the humans rebuild. He taught them how to strengthen defenses, how to use alien technology wisely, and how to stay alert without giving in to fear. Maya stayed by his side, learning, laughing, and slowly becoming a bridge between humans and alien knowledge. Even as life returned to a fragile normal, Rel never stopped watching the skies. He knew the Karnaks were out there, somewhere, waiting for the right moment. But he also knew that Earth now had defenders, humans who had seen courage in action and survived. One evening, Rel and Maya sat atop the hill, watching the sun set. The town glowed in the golden light, and the wind whispered through the trees. "You ever miss your home?" Maya asked quietly. Rel looked up at the stars. "Sometimes. Zitharon is gone, but its lessons remain. I have seen bravery here, in humans. I have learned something more valuable than any weapon or victory: hope. This is my home now." Maya reached out, touching his hand. "And we're glad you're here. You saved us all. Not just with your strength, but with your heart." Rel's eyes softened. For the first time, he allowed himself to feel something completely human: love. Not just for Maya, but for Earth itself, and for the species whose courage had changed him forever. Days passed, and Earth slowly healed. Humans rebuilt their towns, stronger and more united than before. Stories of the mysterious blue-glowing warrior spread quietly, told in whispers at first, then as legends. Some said it was a guardian from the stars, others claimed it was hope made real. Rel continued to train in secret, preparing for any threat that might return. He remained hidden from most humans, appearing only to those who were brave enough to protect their world. Maya stayed with him, learning, guiding, and becoming a fearless partner in Earth's defense. Together, they formed a silent alliance, a bond of courage and trust that no enemy could break. One night, as they looked at the stars, a faint pulse of red light appeared far away. Rel stiffened. The Karnak's fleet? Perhaps. But this time, he did not feel fear. "Are they coming?" Maya asked, gripping his arm. Rel looked at her, calm and steady. "If they do, we will be ready. Humans have seen what courage looks like, and now, they fight for more than survival. They fight for hope." Maya smiled, her eyes shining. "Then let's make sure they know it's not just Earth they're facing. It's every heart that dares to stand." Rel nodded. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying the promise of protection, of courage, and of the unknown battles ahead. Somewhere in the cosmos, enemies were gathering, but Earth had a warrior unlike any they had faced before, and humans who would fight beside him. As the night grew darker, Rel turned his gaze to the stars. For the first time in a long while, he felt peace. He was not alone. He had found bravery, hope, and love in a species he had never thought capable of inspiring him. He had found his home. And somewhere far away, the Karnak's fleet waited, unaware that their next challenge would not be a planet to conquer, but a force they could never break, human courage, amplified by an alien who had fallen in love with it. Rel's eyes glowed softly as he whispered to the wind, "Come, whatever comes, we will face it. Together." The stars twinkled above, silent witnesses to a new chapter, Earth's first real defense, humanity's courage, and an alien who had learned the true meaning of bravery.